Hello and welcome to Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast. Welcome, Tristan.
Thank you. Glad to be
We're going to
here.
start this thing off with positivity and on the right foot.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, so that just means we're skipping his joke this week.
Rude.
So
All right. So today we're going to be just recapping the week,
yes.
like we always do, and just kind of hitting some highlights. It's going to be a shorter and maybe a sweeter because of it
Maybe.
podcast. So like we always say, airtime is we are not experts on this thing called children's ministry.
Nope.
But we do love it. We're passionate about it.
That's true.
And we're going to discuss it. And along the way, if you guys can pick up something, cool. If not,
All the
we
better
get it.
for it.
So
If you learn what not to do.
or if you're listening, you realize what we don't have a clue, then write in and say, hey, do this.
Yes.
I'm being serious because we need all the help we can get to make this thing as good as it can be. Is that right, Tristan?
Yep. Definitely.
Let's see if there's anything else. Well, Podcast Network. The Apostolic
yes.
Podcast Network is a great
APN.
place to see other apostolic podcasts, both for children's ministry and otherwise. ApostolicSundaySchool.com/APN is a shortcut.
Yep.
Or linktr.ee/Apostolic
Podcast
Podcast Network.
Network.
And there's all kinds of good ones, but I want to point out one, and that is
Okay.
the Sunday School Junkie, who has been very methodically putting out their podcast.
I've been on it.
And for a while, they kind of had other stuff take priority, and we get it. We know how that
Yes.
is. So I ain't throwing stones living in a glass house. So, but we do are always excited to see that. So check them out, Sunday School Junkie, as well as all the rest of the incredible podcast, Apostolic Podcast Network. Anything else before we get started?
Nope,
All right,
that's it.
hit it.
Well, boy, I think it's time for a dad joke.
And now it's time for that there dad joke, Tristan.
Oh, no.
And, well, you've had a little heat on you, girl.
I
little
have.
target on your back, little bullseye, because you are definitely wrong.
I don't think I'm wrong.
Well, why don't you just tell me what you said other people were telling you, huh?
So at the Bible quizzing tournament that was this last weekend in Bakersfield, I was told by 2 or 3 people who recognize me from either, I don't know, the podcast or the videos, whatever, that I need to laugh at your jokes because they think they're funny. But I just
Enough said.
I just think
Enough said.
I just think they feel bad for you.
I think that you have it so ingrained that you are not going to laugh, that you are now trapped by your own. You quit looking at my joke.
I'm looking at us.
Okay, well, don't do that either.
Make sure I'm still.
You're trapped by this own persona that you have created, young lady. This persona of not laughing at people's jokes and not being funny and being stoic. And so you have put yourself in a position that you are not allowed to laugh.
Wait,
What?
that's not true.
It is true.
I don't feel boxed in at all. And
Yes, you
it's
do.
not that I don't laugh at everyone's jokes. I don't laugh at your jokes. Because
You don't even laugh at the ones I read out of the
in-
book you gave me.
Well, I'm just saying. Like, so I laughed at all the kids' jokes in that one big podcast where we did at the Union City one. I laughed when Brother Pelletier was telling jokes. I laughed when Brother Bradshaw was telling jokes. I just don't like your jokes.
People, I need your help. If you could please get on the train of telling Tristan that she's wrong, because we all know she is.
Or for all of you people who agree with me, tell him that I'm right and that his jokes aren't funny.
Rude. Okay. Well, anyway, I've been listening to all of what you're saying, and I have a feeling that you're lying.
I feel like I'm lying.
A little bit, because I feel like you're prevaricating, you're telling the truth, or at least ducking the truth, because I can always tell when someone's lying by just looking at them. I can also look at them and tell if they're
always tell.
standing.
Okay. I want to
That was a warm-up. That was a warm-up. I was just trying. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. Okay. All right. I can tell if they're lying. I can tell if they're standing. Rude. Okay. But this morning I woke up and I wasn't feeling great. And so I coughed, and I coughed up a pawn, a knight, and a bishop.
What did you eat?
All I can figure is I must have a chest infection. Chest.
And just so you guys know, if you're just listening to audio, he always tells me to keep my mic by my mouth so people can hear if I laugh.
Well,
It's been
you
right
pull
by
it
my
down,
mouth.
and
It's been
sometimes
right
the
by
snicker-
it's been
sometimes
right
the
by my
snicker
mouth
escapes.
this whole time. It hasn't moved.
Anyway, so I talked to my friend about that problem that I had,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Hey, you should get checked, mate."
That was rough. That one was rough.
And Monday, I sneezed up a walking stick. I think I have a staph infection.
Staph infection?
People. Everybody. Here she is. Tristan.
Thank you.
The soulless wonder. And now it's time for the victories and the bloopers. We're just going to lump them all in one little place here.
Yep.
And let's start with one of the bloopers. I heard from the toddler class. Sister Liz Machuca was telling us, and no surprise it involves toddlers crying, because that's what they do.
I just think that's their favorite thing.
Yeah. Although I must say, last time I was there, I went all the way into the toddler class. I sat on the floor and I played Legos with them, and nobody cried. Now I wanted
probably
to.
because you weren't wearing a wig.
I wanted to cry, but I didn't. But we built a big Lego thing, and we tried to see how high it was getting, or how high we could get it. And right when it was at the highest, a kid came and kicked it apart. So that wasn't cool. Yeah. So I was the sad one that day.
That was really
But anyway, toddlers crying. So she said they did some sort of friendship relay game. I don't
Yeah.
really know what that is.
I don't know either.
But they were walking with a duck balanced on their head. And they said it didn't work because all the toddlers don't like ducks on their heads, apparently, and just cried the whole time.
Wow.
Instead of walking with a duck, they cried with a duck.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was their blooper. Basically, their
Yes.
game fell apart.
I guess it's just one more thing.
Ended in tears.
To not bring to toddler class.
Yep, I guess so. One of our other teachers said, "Well, I'd freak out if I had a bird in my hair." So trying to be a little understanding of the toddlers, although it's a little difficult for me. Anyway,
Yes.
where are you at?
Okay,
Tell me when
so
you're-
super class, one of them that we had is we have this little watchtower that's covering one of our speakers, and it was doing really good. It's not like secured or anything. It's just kind of like balanced on top of it so that it like hooks on.
Do you have your watchman in the tower yet?
Yes.
You actually put the watchman in it?
He is in there right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say something little
Whether
insulting,
he went,
but
whether
I
he
can't.
went there before or after class, that
Doesn't matter. He's there
He's
now.
there now.
All right. I can't say anything.
But we have this little watchtower, and it was doing really good, but it just falls during class, and it fell in the middle.
So the watchtower falls?
Yes, because it's like a little box, and then it's like those crates where they have like the sides that go out. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay, like the Costco like.
I know what a crate is.
Okay, like the crates.
Like a milk crate.
And there's just a hole cut in the front of it, and it's pushed over it. So it's like kind of balancing, and it has like a...
I'm going to introduce you guys to this thing called tape.
Well, yes, but then if we ever need to pull it down or
Just
anything...
put one little piece of tape.
Okay, but we haven't had any problems with it.
Or zip ties.
Until then. It fell down in the middle of something. And literally all the kids who were all paying attention just immediately turn and go, "It's on the floor!" And I had the whole girls section... it wasn't anything like crazy. I think it was like song or something, but it completely pulled away from the song.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
Yes.
In the boys' class, they said they had both a victory
Oh, yes.
and a bit of a mixed blooper. They have a teacher, and his name is Isaac. He's a good guy. But for some reason, the other teachers accidentally keep calling him Reuben.
What's his brother's name?
Well, I know, but they
Yeah.
keep calling him Reuben. And so all of the kids now call him Reuben. And basically, he's been rebranded as Reuben.
That's so
and
funny.
he has lost his identity. He is not Isaac. He has
That's
become
really funny.
Reuben. And we don't really know why. Or we don't really know why that was so difficult to get his real name, but it was. But the victory in that same class is that no one broke their leg in 4 places this week. So... they're if we had one of those boards that said this many weeks without injury, they would have a 1 on there. So that's good.
Yeah, it's the boys' class though.
Better than 0.
Yeah. So back in super class, for the final lesson, we were talking about grace versus mercy. How grace is getting things you don't deserve, and mercy is not getting things that you do deserve, and. Right?
Based on that
Yes.
object lesson with the squirt guns and
Yes,
stuff. Yeah.
but I think they did it slightly different. I had to step out at one point, but when I came back, there was like Natalia who was acting as like the like devil. She was acting as the villain who was like basically trapping this person. And then they had Jesus who came in, and it was Keith wearing a white robe and a red cape. I don't know what.
I think the reason they changed it up is because they had just done that not too long ago in that class.
So it was like a little funny because the kids thought it funny, but apparently some of the little kids were so terrified of Natalia that they just screamed the entire lesson. And so it just kind of took a little bit away. But
nice.
This is kind of a victory mixed in this, is that lesson ended up turning into probably the best altar call we've had in months.
That's right. Scare the devil out of them. That's right. That's what happened. So the boys' class also, I forgot to mention this.
Yes.
They have kind of an interesting reward system in their class where they assign points. And I think the understanding is that at the end of X number of days, 2 months or whatever, as many points as they acquire, that's how many dollars the teachers will spend on giveaways for the class. So say they accumulate 100 points, they'll spend $100 on giveaways.
Yeah.
So their behavior determines how much they give away at the end of that, which I thought was pretty cool. And then they have a new system implemented last week because a couple of the boys, that 10 to 11 class, they have a tendency to be a little extra, a little rowdy. Mm-hmm. And so the rule is now, if you get kicked out of class, you take 10 points away from the whole class.
And like they said, to put it in perspective, the boys will get between 1 and 2 points a class.
Well, so, I think it's like per kid.
Yes, 1 to 2 points per kid.
So basically,
per
they could lose the entire day or half the day's points by one kid acting up. The whole point is pure pressure.
Yes,
hopefully,
positive peer pressure.
Yes, we'll keep these kids on the straight and narrow. Yep. So we'll see. But I thought it was a good idea. Pretty cool. And Sister Leia got pied in the face.
I heard about that.
I don't know exactly what the reason was.
Backstory
Maybe someone was mad, and they just thought, you know what, Sister Leia,
I'm guessing it was the grace and mercy thing.
I don't know. Could be.
That's what I was assuming it was, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Well, that's all I got.
That's all I have too.
Okay, well, that's our victories and our bloopers. The idea is that every Sunday has things you can celebrate. Yep. Every Sunday has things that you're happy about, you're pleased with, and that you can build on. But also every Sunday has those not so great
things you need to work on.
Yeah. Oh, I do have one more blooper.
Okay.
So I was actually out of town this last week, and I was at a church that they decorated it all out. Like they did such a fantastic job. In fact, a lady from there just joined the big children's ministry chat.
Oh, nice.
And but they did like an Arctic theme. When you walk in, they had these really cool like handmade bridges out of yarn and cardboard. They look so cool. I mean, like unbelievable. I can't even imagine how many hours they took.
Wow.
To build. And then inside the church, it was just all Arctic out, just did a fabulous job. But what they did is of course they set up the stage with that as the background, effectively walling off all stairs to get up on the stage.
Oh.
You could get to it from the back, but when I'm doing a service, I'm up and down constantly up there.
Yeah.
Well, the stairs were so far back, I really couldn't use them. I mean, they're just not something I could use. So I was having to step up and down off of a very high stage, 20 times the service.
That's really fun.
When I say it's tall, like I'm a tall guy, it was like I could barely get my foot on it, and then I'd have to pull myself up with something like a table or something. I kind of push myself up. And at the beginning of the night, it's not too bad. After you've seen Jump Up and Down, Be Happy, you've fallen down a few times, you've jumped around, you've lost a little of your zip, and you're approaching 50 quicker than you want to admit. By the end of the night, let me just tell you, it got a little more difficult. And my poor knees, I think I've inherited my father's knees. By the end of the night, they were not happy. And I don't have any like blooper like I fell and broke my leg or something. But I did step off one time and I felt something not good.
Ooh.
And it was just like it wasn't even a pop. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just a feeling that shouldn't be there. And I thought, this may be the last time I step off this thing, but it wasn't because you have to keep going. Yeah. And my stuff's up there, so I had to get it, and then you interact with the kids, and so anyway, I just had to live with it. So now my knees are either, I don't know if they're stronger because of it, they were worked out hard for a couple days, or if they're worse, I don't know. Either way,
we'll find out in a few years.
It was a challenge. So what I would have to do, I'd have to say, turn to the person next to you and give them a high five. And while they do that, I'd struggle up on the stage. This old man trying to get up on the stage.
That's really
Hopefully while they weren't paying attention. But I have a feeling I didn't
They're
pull
probably
it off.
like, they're probably all just staring at
What's
you.
that dude's problem? Yeah. So anyway, that was my blooper.
That's really funny.
And the victory was that they're awesome people.
That's really cool.
If you take away nothing else when you travel and go to different churches, the takeaway I always leave with is that God has incredible people everywhere we go.
That's very true.
They're just as passionate about Sunday school and children's ministry as I am. They care just as deeply. They work just as hard. And it's just so encouraging to see all across the nation there are people that haven't given up on truth. They haven't stepped back from this apostolic doctrine. They still believe it just as strong as they, as the forebears did. And they love what they do with children's ministry, and they do a great job. So I just love that. It's always encouraging. Just everywhere you go, there are incredibly talented, good people working in the kingdom of God. And I love it.
Yep.
Now it's time to step a little bit back in time, Tristan. Yes. It's time to step back in time. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to Apostolic Sunday School. We're going to go a few years back.
Yep.
I guess. Because you've got us an archive.
Lots of years back.
So what did you dig up?
So for this one,
a song. Yes, and which song is it?
It's not a song.
Oh, not a song. What is it then?
It is an object lesson.
Object lesson.
I wanted you to have a little...
Okay, this is. I like these. So what you got?
This one is the one with the big vase and then the oil and the broken glass inside.
Ah, yes.
So basically, what it is.
I saw this first on Steve Spangler. Mm-hmm.
So basically, what it is it's just like a big vase, and it's full of oil, and you have we have two like identical little glass cups. And one of them is submerged inside of the oil. Already,
and you can't see it. It's disappeared.
Yes. So basically, when you start the lesson, you're talking about how sometimes you go through things and you just feel like you're broken and you're like falling apart and you don't know how in the world like you could ever be put back together, and you just feel like the world is just crushing you. And so you get the one that's not in the oil, and you wrap it in a towel and you just smash it with a hammer.
It's in a towel so it doesn't shatter.
Yes.
And put eyeballs out with shrapnel.
So what you're talking about, just how life gets you down sometimes, and eventually you will get some of this like thinner glass pieces, not like the thick stuff that's at the bottom, because usually it doesn't disappear. If you get like the thinner stuff and you just kind of sprinkle it around the edges, so it's inside of the glass that's submerged. It's in between the two glasses, so it's like around it.
It's kind of hard. The visual from our audio is a little bit tough. Basically, there's a cup already inside there, and if you're worried about the glass going inside, you can turn it upside down if you want. And then when you put the broken pieces in the oil as well, they disappear.
Yes. And then you'll talk about how you gave all your broken pieces to God, and only He can truly restore you. And so you'll pull it out, and it'll be like it was completely...
It'll look like the broken pieces got put together again. And the reason this works is there's some sort of science that talks about the reflection or refraction of light through oil. And when you use glass, for some reason, if you're looking through the outside vase and the oil has the same refraction as the glass inside, and so it's invisible. You can't see it. Yes. However, some glass can be seen.
Yeah, so make sure you practice.
They do say they recommend Pyrex. Pyrex is what they recommend because it has the same refraction. Although I'm not about to break an expensive Pyrex.
Yes, Pyrex is very expensive.
So I just go to Dollar Tree and I'll buy a few different options and I'll put it in the oil and see if it disappears. If it doesn't, I'll try something else.
I know.
Sometimes, like you said, like a cup or a vase especially, the bottom is thicker, the thicker glass that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can still see that part through the oil, but you can't see the sides. And so you can put something in front of the big vase.
Yeah, or like
kind of a prop.
I know, or you can even like do like a tray, like as if you're just trying to catch the oil.
Just anything to hide that lip.
Yeah.
And make it disappear. Some glasses you put them in, I mean, they are just gone.
Yeah.
They just vanish. And then when you put the crumbles, the broken pieces of the one you smash in there, usually they disappear really well. Like you said, the thick stuff sometimes doesn't.
Yes.
And so I make that hidden on the table so they don't know I didn't put it all in.
Yes.
Yeah, I just make sure they can't see that piece of it. Put it all in. By the way, make sure you don't cut yourself. I have done it live, and I've got blood all over me, and that's not a good look. So I wear gloves, just something that
Yes.
it helps you with the glass. But it's a really cool one, but you have to practice this one.
Yes.
Do not do this the night before, or you are going to be a miserable person on Sunday morning when your glass doesn't disappear. I know, because I've done it, but I did it early enough where I could go get different glasses. I had to one time try 4 or 5 different glasses combination. And the outside vase matters too. So the outside vase can't be like a square. It has to be rounded.
Yes.
You can't use like a squared off one. And so we ran into that once when I tried that. So anyway, just experiment, try it, but it's a really cool one. Bottom line is you pull out a restored piece of what looked to have been broken.
And on Apostolic Sunday School, it should be on like the website. I think it's called Broken to Restored Life.
Yeah, and if you have a different way of using it, because I can imagine all of these science experiments like that can have multiple uses. Let us know. We'd love to reuse it for our classes in a different way. And never tell the kids how it's done.
Yes.
If you tell them how it's done, the magic is gone.
And they will tell everybody.
They'll tell everybody, and you can never use it again.
Yep.
But if you keep the secret, you can reuse it a year later, and even if they've seen it, it's still cool because they don't know how it's done.
That's why there's some lessons where you have to explain it.
Like
in
the
order
hole
for it to
in the
make,
bottle
yes,
with the
it's
repentance
so
bottles.
hard because you don't want to explain it, but you have to. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Yep, and so that's a cool lesson. Thank you for bringing that up from the archives. And now it's time for a new object lesson, one we have not recorded. But Tristan, this one is older than the oil lesson.
Oh, wow.
It's a new old lesson.
How have you never recorded it?
It's never been on Apostolic Sunday School, but I did it years ago in our class, and the kids really, really liked it.
How many years ago in class?
It had to have been.
So was that before I was in Sunday school?
Yep, probably 20 years ago or more.
Oh, I'm not even 20 years old.
Yep, it was a long time, a very long time. So it's one where you have a bunch of hamburgers, and I had to go to McDonald's. I bought, I think it was 10 hamburgers, and each one I doctored in a different way. So I made each hamburger slightly different to represent the different type of churches that are out there.
Okay.
Because there's more than one type of church.
Agreed.
Such as the no meat burger. I took that and took the meat out, took out, you left the veggies and the bun, of course. And I'd have a kid come up, you guys want a burger? And they'd bite that thing and where's the beef? They're a little upset. Are you all right? You're like rubbing your eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then I'd tell them, well, that wasn't very good, was it? Because it's missing the good stuff. It's missing the meat that's inside, right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, there's churches like that. They look good from the outside, but they don't have any meat on the inside. There's no truth. There's no doctrine. There's no holiness. There's no standards. And a church that's just fluff isn't going to last very long.
Mega churches.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to last. And so that's the no meat burger. Okay. And then we go to the next burger, and I do something like the all meat burger. This thing had 6 patties and no bun, and no veggies, and no sauce. And it's filling, and you're going to get nutrition out of it. And I guess if you're on a keto diet, you'd probably be happy. But it's hard to live on something like that.
Yeah.
But there's some churches that's what you get. It's all meat. It's truth. It's good. It's doctrine. But man, it's like getting crammed down your throat, and there's nothing with it. There's no love. There's no compassion. There's no joy of the Holy Ghost. It's just raw, boom, pounded. It feels like it. And so it's another type of church.
Yes.
And we could go on and on, but I'll go through a few more of these. How about the one with the what do they call it? What's the type of meat that's not really meat?
Impossible meat.
The Impossible Burger, right? So you get like a fake meat patty, and you slip it in there, and a kid would eat it, and probably they'd eat 2 or 3 bites, and like, that's not bad. And then all of a sudden they realize, hey, something's wrong.
Yeah.
That meat patty don't taste meaty.
Because no matter how much people say it tastes the same.
It don't taste the same. And so that is people that they have meat, but it ain't the right meat. It's fake meat. And eventually, you know that you've been ripped off. And something's not right. The first couple bites aren't bad. Hey, this is good stuff. Woo! And then all of a sudden, oof.
That wasn't right.
No, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong. And you can't last if you have fake truth.
Yeah.
And then we have stuff like the candy burger. Instead of the meat, you got a candy bar inside. And you might have some freak kid that thinks it's good. But hey, you know what? That wouldn't please most people. Everything's just sweetness and light and lovely. It's so sweet. Our church is just sweet, sweet, sweet. Just all lovey-dovey. But we're all about loving people.
Yes.
But if that's all it is and you don't have anything else, it's going to be a pretty rough experience.
That's true.
How about the cold burger? You even put it in the freezer ahead of time. Kids get it out. They try to take a bite.
I hate cold food.
It has all the right ingredients. It has everything there. It has the truth. It has the bun and the meat and all the stuff, but it's got a little cold. You know, they've let it sit for a while. There's no fire of the Holy Ghost warming this thing up. And so it's just been sitting and it's got a little cold and nobody wants to go to a dead church.
That's good.
And so we got to get rid of that one. Or the saucy burger. This thing is not only just got some sauce, it's dripping in sauce. It's covered in sauce. It's in a bowl of sauce. It is saucy. It's so messy. And this is just a church that's all emotionalism without anything else.
Wow.
It's just all hype. You come in there and it's just, it's, I don't know. You could play with this a little bit, but it's just all hype, woo woo. And I'm all about worship, and you know that. Love worship. But if that's all there is to it, and it's all hype and no truth, no teaching, no doctrine, no word, then you're going to have a problem. And then maybe you have a fake burger. It's a burger that's meant to be seen but not eaten, like the ones on I've read that they use for advertising.
Oh yeah, I've heard they're
fake.
Yeah.
You can't eat them. If you do, you'll get sick. Like instead of mayonnaise, it's toothpaste, or or instead
a lot of it is so it's like it doesn't melt under the bright light.
Yeah, it's meant to be seen but not actually participated in.
Yeah.
And that's like these churches that are like, they look good, but you can't actually participate. It's like people that say, oh, yeah, that's my church. I haven't attended in 15 years, but that's my church. The church is not really meant to participate in. Just pay your tithes and you're fine.
Service once a month.
Yeah. And then you have maybe the tiny burger, and make it tiny, little one. People that, churches that never grow spiritually. Not being I don't mean this bad. It's not a small church thing. I don't mean that. I mean like spiritually they're little. They just never grow. They never become any more than they are. They're just.
It's where they're fine. They're fine where they are. And
it's like us four and no more. We don't want to grow. Yeah, it's a scary place to be.
Very.
A couple more. The plain burger. It's just bun and meat.
Ew.
It's healthy-ish. Yeah, it'll get you by. But if that's all there is, if there's no, like we said, joy of the Holy Ghost, there's no worship, there's no life, there's no prayer, there's no sauce.
Yeah.
You got to have some sauce.
Yes.
So if you just have just a plain burger and meat, it's going to be a little old pretty quick, right? And maybe one that's dropped. Used to be a good church, but then they let some things go.
Ooh.
And now it's a big mess because it got dropped.
Wow, that's good.
And then the last one, this is the clincher. This is the ultimate burger. The balanced, fully loaded burger. This is the one that's got the apostolic truth. It's got the worship. It's got prayer. It's got fasting. It's got the joy of the Holy Ghost. It's got all the ingredients there, and that's the kind of church that I want.
Yep.
And that's the kind of church that the kids are going to want. And that's the kind of hamburger that they're going to be fighting over to eat because it's got it all.
Yep.
It's got it all. It's a growing church, and it's got the joy of the Holy Ghost and the fellowship and the Spirit and the love and the truth. Ooh, that's the kind of church I want.
That's good.
And that's the lesson.
I like it.
Taught with burgers. I don't know where that came from, but I remember, probably 20 years ago, I was thinking, how can I talk about the different type of churches? And I ended up on hamburgers.
That's funny.
So anyway, I've only taught it once. But anyway, I wrote it all up. So I'll record it, and maybe we'll do it for an Apostolic Kids video.
Ooh.
That'd be kind of cool. Get ready to eat
long
some
as
nasty
you're the one
burgers.
that's eating.
I'll eat the good ones. You eat the gross ones. All right. Anyway, that's it for the Objectively Cool, the new object lesson. All right, Tristan, we are about done with the podcast. Can you believe it's already here? We're going to just do this final thought, and we are done. And everybody out there is saying, hallelujah. Call up those musicians because we're almost done. But we're going to talk today about sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw. And this is one that you hear a lot, especially if you're in to like books that talk about being effective and being motivated and making productivity, that sort of thing. It's about sharpening the saw. And we're going to talk about that in two ways. Two ways you can sharpen your saw. And this is based off of Ecclesiastes 10:10 that says, if the iron be blunt, talking about your axe, and he do not whet the edge, then he must put to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Or a short way to say all that is the duller the axe is, the harder you have to work.
Ooh,
okay. So if it's dull, it's a blunt edge, you're not going to get a whole lot done. You just got to swing harder and more often. Okay. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, about how sometimes when we're doing ministry of any kind, of course, especially children's ministry, because that's what we're focused on, is you feel like you're working harder than you ever have, but if you're not careful, you're actually getting less done than you used to get done. Even though you're working harder, you're actually putting in more effort and you're accomplishing less. So that's the last thing we want to do is just, we want to be efficient.
Yes.
We don't want to be wasting our time. And so let's talk about how we can stay sharp. Okay. So we're busy. We're swinging lesson after lesson, Sunday after Sunday, event after event. And have you ever looked at the calendar and you think, if I can just get through that event,
then
I can take a big breath.
And then it'll be the next event.
And then you look at the calendar after that, and there's another one.
Next month.
And after that, there's another one. It's never going to end.
Yes.
It's never going to end. And that's just part of life, is there is no time that you can ever sit back and go, oh, that's wonderful. In fact, at the end of the year, it feels like that's my time. Like the last half of November and December feels like the time you can just...
And then January.
But even in December, there's stuff. There's the church Christmas parties and the banquets and stuff you got to do. And then for Sunday school, we have our parties.
And then as soon as it hits January,
it's all started over again. So my point is that if you aren't careful, all of that repeated work and effort can blunt the saw without you even realizing it. Things start to feel a little bit harder, a little bit heavier than they used to. Mm-hmm. Needs more effort, more time. Feels like we have to put more pressure on people to get stuff done. But the issue isn't that people don't care or that we don't care. It's that the edge is dull. The edge is dull. Okay, and part of sharpening that saw, and this is the way that most motivational places refer to it, is that you need to take time for yourself. You need to take time to literally kick back, chill, step away from responsibility, recuperate, rest your brain, spend time with your family, go on vacation, just go and turn your brain off for a while. That's good. That's called sharpening the saw, and that's not a bad thing.
I don't know what to say.
You're just sitting there smiling. But that's a smart thing to do, is real resting and stepping away. Shouldn't have guilt associated with it. Now, we're not talking about burnout. We're not talking about people that quit Sunday school for a year. Yeah. We're talking about just, hey, I need a break for a little bit. I need a weekend away. I'm just going to go away with my family, and we're going to do nothing but just rest and have fun and spend time together. We're going to go fish and ride a boat and play golf. I don't know. That's kind of my dream. But everybody has their own thing, right? To kind of chill out a little bit. And you should be able to do that without any guilt.
Yes,
it's really good to do that one night a week at least.
Just do nothing.
Now, it's not easy to actually make that fit in your schedule, especially when there's Easter coming up and you have drama practice and music practice and church and Bible quizzing practice and outreach, and we're doing the Rialto Blitz and all this stuff. Right now, we don't even have a single night.
Right now is not the time.
But I'm saying that you need to create that time if you can. A time where it's not just, hey, we can't hardly breathe. We need to take time away. I'm saying like on a regular basis. Okay.
So before
this night
you
of the
get
week,
to that point.
Yes, exactly. Or once a month, we're taking a day where we can just do nothing. I don't know. You guys figure it out. But my point is that you need to do it and realize that doing that isn't letting anybody down. It's not weakness. It's not showing that you don't care. It's really being wise. It's showing some wisdom. You reset yourself, your perspective kind of clears, and you come back and you feel like you're on top of your game, and you're much more effective than you were before. You feel like you have that mental clarity. Maybe you can have a little more empathy with people. Like, you can deal with people a little bit better.
Yes.
You're not just frustrated with them.
I think that's the thing. I noticed it a lot. I think more on bus than I do in Sunday school. But like, if I'm really tired or like just kind of on edge, then every little thing from really any, whether it's my bus kids or another bus kid, I'm just like,
yeah,
I can't.
That's a scary place to be when the stuff that you normally enjoy bothers you.
Yes.
The kids yelling that normally I'm like, let's see how loud we can get them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's annoying, and you're just like, make them stop. That's when you realize, okay, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something I need.
Some
I need to go
disconnect that needs to be.
I need to go sharpen the edge, or sharpen the axe a little bit. We're not trying to impress anybody, but we're trying to be effective at what we're doing, and we want God to be pleased with what we're doing. So anyway, that's another thing. And so the other way of sharpening is by not just resting, but it's about getting better, growing, improving at what we do with purpose and intention. We're not doing it by accident. We're not just like going every Sunday and just like picking up stuff from people, or just the raw process of doing things enough times you get better at it. I'm talking like intentionally in between Sundays, I'm going to get better at Sunday school.
Yeah.
I'm going to get better at outreach. I'm going to get better at teaching. I'm going to get better at telling stories. I'm going to get better at this stuff, where you actually take time to be better. Reading books is a really good way to open your brain up to new ideas. Going to conferences is a really good way to open yourself up to other perspectives. It's not necessarily that their ways are better, that their ways are life-changing. It's that they're just different enough to make you think.
Yeah. I know what Uncle Joel has said a lot is he said sometimes it just takes a different voice, because he said sometimes he gets on the pulpit and he's saying things and it seems like people aren't getting it, and then another visiting minister comes in and says the exact same thing, and everyone's like, that's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
So it could be something that you've heard but you're not like thinking like, I could work on that, and then you hear it from somebody else, or it's phrased in a different way.
We've had that where we go to those children's ministry conferences, come back, and we brainstorm. Hey guys, what did you pick up from this conference? And someone will say something, and I'm like, yeah, I suggested that for the last 3 months, and you guys didn't think it was a good idea. But all of a sudden, it came from somebody else. Yeah, and that's not, I'm just picking right now, but it does happen. It does happen. But yeah, opening yourself up to other ideas and perspectives is a really, really healthy way to sharpen the edge. Read books, go to conferences, listen to podcasts. I mean, not this one necessarily, because you'll probably just walk away more confused. But there are some that you can get that edge sharpened up. So we're trying to get better. Let's see, brush up on storytelling. I want to be the one that the Bible comes alive when I tell it.
Yeah.
There's some people that tell a story and it's so riveting. Time has flown by and you don't even realize that you're so immersed in the story they're telling that you're not distracted. You're just locked in. Yeah, and that's the kind of storyteller I want to be.
And there's some people who are just like so engaging that, like, some people, I think they're engaging even when they have like a visual and they know how to really bring it in. But there's some people that they could just be telling a story. Like, they're just standing in front of me talking.
But those kind of people, that doesn't just happen.
Yes.
They didn't just luck into that. It's a skill that has been developed over years and with considerable effort. So if we want to be that person, we have to actively chase it, intentionally grow in those areas. And so we can rest and we can get new skills. And when we sharpen our skills, when we get better, the teaching, obviously our teaching gets better, but also our confidence rises.
Yes.
You know that I've done this before. I've been here. I've done it. Your creativity is sharpened because you're not always relying on the same thing that you've done a million times. You can try new things because you've practiced it, or you've developed new ideas. And again, back to, you're not just working harder. We're accomplishing more with the same effort or less effort. And so we can actually be more rested and less frustrated by just taking the time to sharpen that saw.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So that's really all we got. Take time for yourself. Take time for your team to sharpen that blade. Yeah. And if your ministry feels like it's a little bit of a burden, a little heavy on you right now, don't panic. Don't assume that you're lost, or that you're not cut out for this, or that Sunday school is for everybody else but not you. Why don't you just check the edge real quick? Just run your thumb over the edge and say, ooh, no, I just need to sharpen it up a little bit. Yep. We don't need to swing harder or try harder. Maybe we just need to rest a little more, learn a little bit, grow a little bit, and keep swinging. Yep. That's right. So that's all we got for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, if you have concerns, if you are worried about our well-being because what you have heard troubles you, send an email to info@apostolicsundaySchool.com, and we would be happy to answer.
Whatever you say.
We'll answer. It might not be with the right information, but we will answer.
You may not like the answer, but...
You may not. Yeah, that's right. You may not like the answer. But anyway, until then, though, we're going to try to sharpen our edge, and we're going to keep on cutting. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.